kitty reward for kitty.
You do?
Yeah. Reward for dog. It's funny.
Yeah.
I have a shirt like that. It's lost.
God's Closet is a clothing ministry that is set up for ages infant up through teens. It is a ministry that's done 4 times a year. Typically, we do it the first Friday of that month, and we distribute gently used or new clothing to the people in our community.
There's a saying you may have heard before. It's if your church ceased to exist, would anyone in your community miss it? And I have to say that if you had asked me and maybe some of my church members that a year ago, we might have struggled to answer that question honestly. But with God's Closet, I can without hesitation say our church would definitely be missed because the community has just come out and supported this greatly, and they are receiving a blessing. I'm glad to say that because of God's Closet, it has put our church on the map.
God's Closet was a ministry that originally started about 9 years ago in the Upper Columbia Conference. It has since grown to over 40 chapters in the U.S. and even in Australia and Canada. We were the 3rd God's Closet in North Carolina. The first one that started was in Raleigh, and then sometime after that, Mills River. Cindy Mercer and myself went and visited Mills River to go see how it worked, to see if it was something that would be feasible for us to do here in Morganton. We were blown away by just the gravity of what was going on there. I mean, the people that were coming in, and it was overwhelming. And we decided, yes, we want this here in Morganton. We get very good quality clothing. We have several vendors that we get clothes from on a regular basis. We have individuals who bring clothing in. That would be church members, community members. We get clothes from all over, and we ask people when they bring clothing to bring us good clothing or gently used to new clothing, because you wouldn't want to bring something that you wouldn't feel comfortable putting on your own child. So we don't accept anything soiled or torn or with any defects. The pajama program is a program that the company is located in New York. And every quarter when we do our God's Closet, we contact them and they send us brand new pajamas. Depending upon the availability, we could get anywhere from, I think the least amount that we've gotten was, 75 pair, to this time we have 200 pairs of new pajamas to give away. And that is a big draw for our God's Closet shoppers, to be able to get free pajamas for their children. Our volunteers typically have been our church members, but here most recently we have been able to engage some of our community in volunteering with us for God's Closet.
I heard about God's Closet for the first time. I was actually at Walmart. I was actually on Facebook, and I was scrolling through, and I finally I glimpsed at it, just kind of ignored it to begin with. And then I was going to Walmart because I needed to go get clothes and stuff for my kids anyways, and I picked it up and it was like the next day. It was in between the times that me and my husband had broke up. I was in a really bad abusive relationship, so what money I did have, either he took it to blow on beer or drugs or cigarettes or just whatever he wanted to blow it on, and then when he didn't have any more money, it was my fault, and he was very, very abusive towards me. But I got away from all that. He took everything that I had, and I literally was living day to day. He took all the kids' clothes. He took anything that he thought could make $1. I come home to an empty house, completely empty, gone, nothing there. So instead of actually going into Walmart and spending what money that I had for them to get clothes, I went and spent money to get groceries.
It's a blessing because not only do they get to come and volunteer and get to shop for their clothing on that day instead of having to come back the following week and stand in possibly a long line to shop for their clothing, they're able to come in and they can, as they're volunteering, they can be looking for things that they may want for their own child.
This is kind of a compassion evangelism movement here. Basically, every time we have a God's Closet, we have some type of event to invite them to next. So for example, this is May, we'll be sending them home with a flyer announcing our next God's Closet, but we want to always have an event to invite them to in between now and the next God's Closet. So we'll be having Vacation Bible School in June, and we have tons of requests for Bible studies and children's programming. So we will be announcing our VBS in hopes that most of our attendants will be God's Closet shoppers and their kids.
It takes a village to do this. It takes everybody. This is not about me. This is not about Cindy. This is not about anybody. This is about us being the hands and feet of Jesus.